The goal of the PrEP program is not to transition folks out into the VA system. Really the goal has been to keep folks in the fight. And so we've utilized PrEP to send folks for the either intensive outpatient therapy or the inpatient therapy. And then the goal is really to reset them, to take care of any injuries that they have, and then to bring them back into the fight. The second goal is to keep folks that have left the fight for whatever reason, have had injuries, to reset them and bring them back into our organizations. And so the majority of our folks, the goal is either send them to PrEP, keep them in the fight, or if they've had to come out of the fight, send them to PrEP to bring them back into the fight. And then the third group is that group where they're transitioning out, and the goal is to take care of their medical needs, specifically their TBI needs, so that as they transition out, they can be productive and have a healthy life as they transition into becoming veterans.
I'm the director of the Warrior Care Program for SOCOM. And with that, we've got recovery care coordinators who are spread out across the states and even globally. So we're in a unique position to not only be able to see what local resources is, but we see how we see the outcomes that are produced all across the nation. And what we quickly realized in terms of our SOF population, Special Operations Forces population, is that PrEP was getting incredible outcomes. And we did a look at this, and we found that, hey, the reason that they're getting these great outcomes is because of the nature of the program they have. You can send guys to a lot of different programs, but a lot of times they do a head-to-toe analysis, right? So they're going in because of TBI. A lot of times you get the multidisciplinary look, though, from head to toe. And then the guys would be provided a treatment plan, which they were expected to go back to their home base and execute. So the issue with that is, number one, does their home base have the capabilities to execute that, right? And number two, and this is more important in our case, are they afforded that opportunity, right? And so the issue with the special operations personnel is they go through a crucible. It's called selection, right? And they're selected because of the traits that they exhibit. And one of the main traits is that they put mission first, right? And they put mission first, then they usually put team second. They are usually well down the list in terms of priority. So that same thing that works great for them in an operational sense is the same thing that hurts them when it comes to taking care of themselves. So the issue is, when you would give them a treatment plan, you'd send them back to execute it. When they get back there, they have the best intentions to do so, but what do they have waiting for them there? They have mission, and they have their team waiting for them. And so, even though they have the best intentions, a lot of times that loses priority and it gets put on the bottom of the pile, and they never do get the care that they need. The great thing that we saw about PrEP was they would come in, they would get a head-to-toe assessment, and multi-system, which that's another piece of it. Trying to get care when you don't have a lot of time because mission's important, doing it piecemeal, is extremely frustrating because you have multiple appointments just to take care of one issue, when our guys, because of the training they have and their exposures, and what they do downrange, they have multi-system issues, right? Orthoskeletal, TBI is one of them, everything else in between. So having this all kind of centralized, do the full assessment, that was great. But then, it was followed on with the treatment plan. And that was huge, because now you're kind of sequestering them, and they're not getting challenged, with the mission that they've got back at the unit. Their new mission now is to take care of themselves, right? So that was huge to us. And what we determined was, if you want to find efficacy in something, in our community, we're a small community, you'll know by word of mouth. So when you have a SOF operator talking to another SOF operator saying, hey, this was the best thing in the world, this saved my life, it saved my family, and it made them human again, and reintegrated them back into their unit to be functional, that word gets around, and we saw that. So doing what SOF usually does, what Special Operations Forces usually do, if we see something that works well, we kind of take it by force. So we threw a lot of our people at this.